Hey guys, it's time for a Rube Goldberg challenge. This is one of my favorite contests of the entire year. And usually we do it in the classroom, building on each other's Rube Goldberg machines. But under the current circumstances, we can't gather all together to make a Rube Goldberg machine. But what if we made the first ever benchmark-wide Rube Goldberg virtual machine? Here's how it would work. I make a piece and I end it with a rolling roll of toilet paper. And then maybe Mrs. Krause makes a piece and she ends hers with a rolling roll of toilet paper. And then maybe Mr. Kyle makes a piece and he ends it with a rolling roll of toilet paper. And I can paste as many of those in together into one giant virtual Rube Goldberg machine. Wouldn't that be cool? I know that a few of you out here are pretty good at this. I'm looking at you, Roger G. And I know several other of you do a really great job when it's time for Rube Goldberg machines. Let's see if we can make the biggest one ever. For those of you who aren't in the know, Rube Goldberg lived from 1883 to 1970, and he was an award-winning cartoonist, sculptor, author, engineer, and inventor. What he was perhaps best known for was his cartoons depicting chain reactions. Here is an example of one of his chain reaction cartoons called Professor Butts and the Self-Operating Napkin. You can see in the picture when the man takes a sip from his spoon, it pulls on a string which triggers a spoon to bounce a cracker up to the parrot. When the parrot grabs the cracker, it pours seed into the little bucket. The bucket pulls on the string attached to the rocket. The rocket cuts the string attached to the pendulum of the clock, and then the pendulum of the clock allows the napkin to wipe his face. All right, so how do we do it? Step one, you want to make sure you start with a roll of toilet paper, and that is going to actually be your end point. I know that's a confusing sentence, but Rube Goldberg machines go best if you start at the end. So you know you want your last thing to be a roll of toilet paper. So maybe put some dominoes set up before the roll of toilet paper and the dominoes hit the roll of toilet paper. Then you need to figure out what's going to hit the dominoes. There are some great videos online. Let me put a couple of those links up here. Here are two of my favorite Rube Goldberg machines on YouTube. You can find hundreds of examples out there, but if you're trying to get some great ideas, go check out the Lemonade Machine and OK Go's This Too Shall Pass. Ours probably can't reach anything like these in their epic proportions, but they're fantastic. So to get started, we collected everything in the house that we thought might be useful. Things like marbles and dominoes and wooden planks and our Jenga game and our wooden trains from childhood and some blocks that we have lying around the house. I bet I can even dig up my favorite Hot Wheels cars because I've got some good ones. We got some string and tape and scissors, ruler, and we're ready to go.
Hi everyone. As Mrs. Reinfelder said, it's best to start your Rube Goldberg machine at the end. And so, if we're going to end with a roll of toilet paper, the first thing we have to do is figure out how to make it roll. For step number 2, we need to come up with a trigger that will actually hit the toilet paper and cause it to roll. In our case, we chose an old marble run we had laying around in the attic. And when we put a marble at the top, see what happens.
Now, if you want to do part of the Rube Goldberg challenge, you need to film your little piece. It needs to be at least 4 steps. It needs to start and end with a rolling roll of toilet paper, and you need to email it
to Mrs. Reinfelder at hreinfelder@benchmarkschool.net before next Tuesday. Well, any time on Tuesday would be fine. And then I'll put them all together and post it on Wednesday. I hope you'll do a piece.